These are my power rankings as well as Pickems for both EMEA and Americas, the Stage 2 playoffs. So let's get right into it. First up, we're gonna look at EMEA and we're gonna start with their map elos. So here we are, and as you can see, with the elo rating currently, Team Liquid is at the top. Then after we have Heretics and Fnatic fairly at the around the same rating. Then after BBL, Vitality and K-Corp roughly at the same rating. Then Navi and Giant X, they have pretty much the same rating. This was one of the changes in positions from last week, since Navi beat down on Koi and beat them very handedly, while GX lost against Team Heretics. And then after we have Foot and Koi, and then after them Apex and Gentlemates, with Apex getting above Gentlemates since Apex played fairly close against Fnatic, but it was a Fnatic who didn't really care that much about the win since it wouldn't change their standings. But yeah, it's just that polishing. These two teams are eliminated, obviously, as well as Foot and Koi as well. But yeah, I just put it in there just so we have the whole picture. So now let's head into the power rating, the power rankings for EMEA. So here we are, and first up, I would say that these aren't like power rankings who work for overall, so you can't compare like I don't know, an S tier team in EMEA with an S tier team in America, so China or whatever. We're gonna do a tier list for when we head to an international. This is just for how these teams look within that region. Um, so let's get right into it. And I think we should start at the top, where Team Liquid are obviously S tier. They look the best. Um, Ever since Trex joined, they've been incredible. They look like they are a world beater team, and yeah, that's why they're S tier. Then after, that's where it gets a bit tricky, because you can make an argument for both Heretics and Fnatic to be S tier as well, but I think you could also make the argument for these two teams to be an A tier. It could go either way. It's genuinely just up to how you would want to do your tier list essentially. Um, so for now, I'm gonna put them both in S tier. I think these are clearly the three strongest teams. Um, so yeah, let's start. Let's continue at the bottom, and then we can think about this a bit later. At the bottom, we obviously have Apex. Then above that, Gentle Mates, and a bit above them is Koi, and then in C tier, I would say is Foot. Uh, they're both. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I would say Foot has looked maybe a bit better than Koi. But this Foot roster obviously hasn't been great with, yeah, maybe put Koi up here, with CNET not working out well at all, and, or not working out well at all. He's been performing great, but him in that smoker position as a controller hasn't worked out that well, since Zeus hasn't been performing as you would have hoped. So that's why Foot has been struggling a bit. Um, so yeah, I think it's deserved that they didn't make playoffs, but it's also a bit sad since I always liked Foot as a team. So then next up, I would say in B tier, you have Giant X and K Corp. And A tier BBL for sure. I'm not sure about Navi and Vitality yet. But yeah, Giant X and K Corp look to me like the two weakest teams heading into playoffs. And even though K Corp just beat Team Liquid, I think Team Liquid didn't really care. They were first in their group regardless, so the game didn't quite matter. And yeah, also they don't need that Champions point necessarily, since they just need one win in playoffs to make it to champs. And I think they have higher aspirations than just making champs anyways. So then between Navi and Vitality, I have to say I'm really high up on Navi, and I don't know if I'm as high on Vitality. Obviously, Vitality has looked fairly decent, but I don't think I would quite say that they can make champs with that roster. So I would put Vitality in B tier and then Navi in A tier maybe. So yeah, this is how I would make my tier list. I'm not really confident at all. I'm very confident these three are the best teams, clearly. I think BBL has clearly been the fourth best team, and I'm really high on Navi, not so much on Giant X and KC, but yeah, there's a lot of upsets possible for the fourth spot for champions, but I would personally want BBL to make it, since they've been so close all year long to make an international. And yeah, I've enjoyed that team all year long. I think they've played some great Valorant. I've always liked Yampy, and I want to see him back at the international stage. So yeah, let's now head into Pickems and see uh, how some of the matchups might shake out there. So first up, my week 5 Pickems, I went 5-1. I got nearly all of the matches right, and just the last one wasn't correct, since yeah, Liquid didn't care that much. That's how I believe that went. But apart from that, I got the rest right, so pretty good. Overall, I think I've been alright within EMEA. But now let's head into the playoff pick'ems. And up here, Fnatic should win against BBL. I have Navi winning against Giant X. Then I have Liquid here winning against Navi. For Heretics and against Fnatic, this is a game that could go either way. Genuinely, both of these teams can beat the other, and it's just on who has a better day. I think Fnatic, you could consider them slight favorites, given that they won stage 1 as well, and they've been performing within EMEA in playoffs always very well, but I'm gonna go with Heretics here. Then I think Team Liquid is gonna go to the grand final. I think they look the strongest. So then in the lower bracket here, this is a very close match as well, BBL against K Corp. But I would have BBL winning. Giant X against Vitality, I would have Vitality winning. Then, and this is quite relevant, I think, Vitality is, if they win their opening match, then they play the loser of what is probably gonna be Heretics against Fnatic. So they're gonna have a very rough road to make it to that lower round, where they wouldn't even make champions, given that they beat Fnatic here, because based on points, Fnatic is already through. So it would then be that match here against, in my case, BBL or Navi, who would decide who gets that last spot for champions. But I have Fnatic winning here anyways. And then in a close match again, BBL versus Navi, I would have BBL winning. I'd say Fnatic wins here, and then maybe Fnatic beats Heretics and gets beaten by Liquid in the final. Yeah, that's my pick'em done. Genuinely between Heretics, Liquid, and Fnatic, each of these matches could go either way. There are a lot of close matches, in my opinion, and yeah, that gives me a lot of hype for these playoffs, because I think we're gonna get a lot of close matches, a lot of hype matches, and some great matches to see who's gonna qualify for champions, and then also great matches to see who qualifies in which slot. So I think we're gonna be in for great EMEA playoffs. And now let's head into Americas, where we're first gonna look quickly again at the map ELO ratings. So for Americas, we have G2 as the #1 team, followed by Sentinels, and then Cloud9. Then after there's Lev, and then NRG and 100 Thieves, somewhere around the same. Then we have EG, Crew, and Loud at the same rating, with Crew and Loud actually having the same rating. I just put Crew above since they made playoffs and Loud didn't. And then also 2G, they all have kind of the same-ish points. And then you have MIBR and lastly Furia. So yeah, that's what the ELO ratings look like. And now let's head into the power rankings for Americas. So here we are, and let's head into the S tier. I think we're gonna make this a quick one, just G2 and Sentinels. These two have been the best two teams all year long within Americas. They look like the best teams in Stage 2 again. I would put G2 above Sen, given that they are playing with Leaf. But if they're not, then I would probably put Sen above G2. But as of right now, I don't know whether Leaf is gonna play or Baby Bay. But I don't know. I think Leaf is gonna play, so I'm putting G2 above Sen. Then let's go from the bottom again with the worst teams, which are Furia as the worst team. They obviously didn't perform well at all. They've been the worst team all year long. So yeah, easy D tier. And yeah, then I think there should kind of be a Furia team on their tier on their own, but I would put Loud, probably 2G above Loud, as the other two teams in D tier. All of these have not been great, and they obviously didn't make playoffs. So yeah, and then the next team, MIBR, I would put them higher just based off of what we've seen from them outside of Stage 2. Plus they looked a bit better towards the end of Stage 2. That's why I would put them above. Even though, yeah, they're basically eliminated from champions already, since they can't play in playoffs. There's like only one niche way how they could make champs, but I wouldn't I would think that this is probably not gonna happen. Then next up I will put EG in C tier as well. I don't have a lot of belief in this team. I think they're not really great. They're probably gonna get booted in their first match. So yeah, then next up in C tier, I would put Crew first up. I think they're the worst out of the last remaining ones. Even though Kesnet has been performing really insane, I think Dante has not had as good of a debut as I was expecting, and yeah, as I was hoping. So that's why they don't look quite as good as you would have expected them to beforehand. Then next, I would put C9 in B tier. C9 is always really good in regular season, but not as much in playoffs, and they've not been that insane in regular season thus far. Um, I mean, they were obviously in a group with G2 and Sen, but you would have wanted to see them win against G2, playing with Baby Bay, who is still a really good team, still a top 2 team, but if you want to make champs, then maybe you have to beat them. So yeah, that's why I'm putting them a bit lower. And then I would actually put NRG in A tier for sure. And I'm not sure whether I'm gonna put 100 Thieves and Lev in A or B tier. I think 100 Thieves. Yeah, I think I would put them both in A tier as well. They looked really good in stage 2. Especially Sato for Lev has been really good. 100 Thieves has been performing really well as well. Ever since they changed their IGL. So yeah, I think it's between these 3 teams who gets the 2 last spots for champions. Even though C9 and Crew have for sure a shot. Especially I think Crew, if Dante starts performing, they could for sure make a run to go to champions. But yeah, this is how my power rankings look coming into the playoffs. So now let's head into the Pickems for Americas. So first up, my week 5 predictions did not pan out well. I kind of went with 2 upsets in Cloud and Loud winning against G2 and EMEA. These both didn't happen, so that was unlucky. And then 2 games were like 50-50 games in my opinion, coming into this week didn't go my way, with maybe Energy versus Crew not being as much of a 50-50 as I thought previously. But yeah, 100 Thieves versus Left, I would still say is kind of a 50-50. So just a bit unlucky, but overall just poor picks by me. And as you can see, I've not been performing well at all in Americas, but it's the region that I can't watch, that I can watch the least. So yeah, obviously I'm not as on top as with the other regions with them. So now let's head into the playoff pick'ems. First up, I would have Lev winning against Cloud and G2 winning against 100 Thieves. I would then have Zen winning against Lev and G2 versus NRG. And then I would actually say I'll put Zen winning against G2 to make it to the grand final. Then down here, C9 versus Crew. This could go either way really, but I would go with C9 and 100 Thieves beating EG. And then we have 2 close matches, 2 really close matches in my opinion, as the 2 deciding matches as to who goes to champions. And I would say NRG takes it against Cloud9 and Left against 100 Thieves. Man, this really could go either way. And yeah, I just want to see Lev win just to have a LATAM representative at champs. And I think Sato has been incredible. I really liked watching him. It's genuinely a joy. So yeah, I would have Lev winning this. And then I would say NRG wins against Lev, G2 wins against NRG, and G2 takes the grand final as well. So yeah, these are my pickems for America locked in. And I wish you guys luck with your pickems as well, and I'll see you guys next time.